Hey everyone, this is K. Saket Reddy from D section. Today my topic is contrast stretching or compression. Contrast stretching, also called as normalization, attempt to improve an image by stretching the range of intensity value. It contains to make full use of possible values. Unlike histogram equalization, contrast stretching is restricted to a linear mapping of input to output values. The result is less dramatic but tends to avoid sometimes artificial appearance of equalized images. The first step is to determine the low limit over which image intensity values will be extended. These lower and upper limit will be called as A and B respectively. For standard 8-bit gray picture, these limits are usually 0 to 25, 0 to 255, sorry. Uh, yeah. The next histogram of original image is examined to determine the value limits. Here the lower is equals to C and upper is equals to D in unmodified picture. If the original range covers the full possible set of values, straightforward contrasting stretching will achieve nothing, but even then sometimes most of the data is contained within a ranged within a restricted range. This restricted range can be stretched linearly with an original value which lies outside the range being set to appropriate limit of an extended output range. Then uh, for each pixel the original value R is mapped to the output value S using this function. Here it is a function S equals to R minus C and B minus A by D minus C plus A. Linear mapping, so get the equation of straight line. It is y equals to mx plus c form. One problem with this method is that outliers can reduce the effectiveness of an operation. Yeah. Uh, yes. This was already mentioned above when it was suggested that sometimes a restricted range of an input values is by inspecting the histogram of an original image might be used. Frequently, it is advantage to select C and D to be at the 5th and 95th percentiles respectively of the input values. Alternatively, yeah, alternatively, one can start at the histogram peak and move up and down the value list until only a small example 1% to 3%. Number of values are rejected and left outside the chosen limit for C and D. Procedure: perform contrast stretching on the following images of a woman's face. Here it is the woman's face, and record the values of A, B, C, D. That means the limits here we discussed in before page used for the operation. Yeah. Now perform the histogramic equalization on the original image and compare the original picture and its histogram with the stretched picture and its histogram as well as with the equalized picture and its histogram also. Here we are comparing the each image. A few picture remarks should be made here. Yeah. Record the values of A, B, C, D used for the operation. Now, yeah, now perform the histogram equation on the original image. Compare the original image picture and its histogram with the stretched picture and its histogram as well as with the equalized picture and its histogram. A few which remarks should be made here. Now, try the stretching operation again, but this time the stretch is stretch a restrict range of an input value. That means it is small stretch only, it is small range only. So example, clip of 3% of an pixel value from each side of histogram peak. What if you clip of 12%? Looking at the original histogram, would it be desirable to only one clip from end? Now repeat with the image on the moon surface for the same. Yeah. Contrast stretching is an image enhancement method which attempts to improve an image by stretching the range of an intensity values. Uh, here we here we stretch the minimum and maximum intensity values present to the possible minimum and maximum intensity values. Example, the minimum intensity value present in the image is 100, then it is stretched to the possible minimum intensity value 0. Likewise, if the maximum intensity value is less than the possible maximum intensity value 255, then it is stretched out to 255. 0 to 255 is taken as a standard minimum and maximum intensity values for 8-bit images, as we discussed earlier. Yeah. Contrast stretching is only is only possible if minimum intensity value and maximum intensity values are not equal to possible minimum and maximum intensity values. Otherwise, the image generated after contrast stretching will be same as an input image. Yeah. It said that the contrast stretching is only possible if minimum intensity value and maximum intensity value are not equal to the possible minimum and maximum intensity values. Yeah. That means here minimum value should have another value, and maximum intensity value should have another value. Both should not equal, so that there exists a range between the minimum and maximum value intensity. Yeah, for maximum minimum values, intensity values. Otherwise, the image generated after contrast stretch will be same as an input image. General formula for contrast stretching: S equals to R minus R minimum, and I max minus I minimum, and R max minus R minimum plus I minimum. For I minimum equals to 0 and I max equals to 255. This is the range for the standard 8-bit grayscale image. S equals to 255 into, because we have I max minus I min equals to 255, into R minus R min by R max minus R min, where R equals to the current pixel intensity value, R min equals to the minimum intensity value present in the whole image, R max equals to max intensity value present in the whole image. Note: output intensity value S should be rounded up to the nearest integer value. Nearest integer value. Input image before contrast stretching with its histogram. Input image after contrasting with its histogram. Thank you.